So I'm sure you'd probably agree there's nothing better than wrapping yourself up in a nice, cozy blanket, right?
Yes.
Especially one that's handmade.
Absolutely, and a local group is sharing faith in your community one stitch at a time for children. Jennifer Millay for Snuggles is here. So what is Snuggles?
SNUGGLES is an organization, it's a nonprofit organization that I started to help children in South Africa. After I went to South Africa on a couple mission trips, we actually found that children there needed blankets in the daycares and the orphanages. So I came home and started crocheting and knitting squares because I knew how to do both, and friends and family started getting involved, and before we knew it, we decided to actually make it official. And so in 2011, we started our stitchathons, which we invite the community to come and stitch with us, and we make the squares.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, and you actually made 2 trips to Africa. We're looking at some of the pictures here from some of the materials that were crocheted and knit and put together for these fantastic, wonderful people out here that really need this.
They do. It actually gets cold in South Africa, which I didn't realize until we were there. They're actually going into their winter right now as we're heading into our summer. And the children sleep on cold cement and dirt floors, often in these very underprivileged areas. And so I came home thinking I need to do something to help these children to be warm. So one of my sort of mottos is not one child go without a blanket. And so we started other missions. People go to South Africa, and we would start sending the squares to them on a periodical basis, and they would put them together into the blankets.
Oh, so you didn't even assemble the whole blanket. You let them kind of do that.
We actually send them as squares, and then the women there in South Africa actually that have these daycares or run the orphanages actually have to come and receive the squares, and they put them into the blankets.
Oh, wow.
So they actually have some skin in the game, and they have some invested interest as well.
Oh, I love
Well,
that.
and what a great opportunity to help create meaning, because it's meaningful for us to be able to do this, but for them to be able to provide, we've given them the raw materials, and now they can provide that love and support for their children.
Exactly, and it was amazing. The second time I went in 2012, we took 6 suitcases full of squares with us.
What?
About 6,000 squares.
Oh my goodness.
And when we told the women that these were made in the United States for them, they almost were brought to tears.
I bet. Now, you've been doing this 5 years?
We have.
How has it grown?
It's been amazing. I have squares coming from all over the United States and Canada, actually. Through our church organization, we've had gatherings and things where the word has gotten out, and people literally from all over now send me squares.
Okay, and
love
you've
that.
got these stitchathons coming up where y'all just get together and stitch and knit and crochet. But I can't even sew a button, as I confessed earlier this week. So would that be a problem for you?
Not at all. We invite people to come. We will teach you to knit and or crochet. We supply needles and hooks and yarn. It is all done on a donation basis, so we do ask if people have their own equipment that they bring it, but we do furnish things.
Well, and that's important for coming together, I think, as a community where you're kind of getting a sense of partnership in doing this. But I know that we have a lot of seniors out there who have these fantastic skills at doing just this, right?
Exactly.
But maybe they're not as mobile as they'd like to be, or maybe they can't get there for a specific stitchathon. Can they help?
Absolutely, and that's what we found. This started out helping the children in South Africa, and yet I found that it's actually helping our community as well. These people who are in nursing homes or who are shut-ins, giving them a sense of purpose, which they haven't felt. We have one volunteer who's 96 who lives out in New Jersey, and she hadn't crocheted for years, and yet when she heard about the program, she told her daughter to get her crochet hook out, and she has started crocheting once again.
Wonderful.
So it's really neat, and we can go pick up squares if people want to make them, or they can drop them off at the Bible Education Center in the Lincoln Square Mall.
I love that.
How many squares does it take to make a blanket?
The women are allowed 40 squares initially. They get to take those home, make them into a blanket, and they have to actually bring the blanket back with them the following time they visit the community center in South Africa to show that they have actually made it into a blanket, and then they can receive another 40 squares. They get to keep the first blanket, but then after that they're asked to donate future blankets to the orphanages or the daycares that are in need.
Well, what a great mission that y'all are doing right here in Central Illinois. That we can all be a part of.
Yeah.
We've sent 62,000 squares to South Africa so far since
Wow.
the program
That's
started.
a lot of
so
blankets.
It's a lot of blankets, it's a lot of squares, but there's a lot of need. This is really important.
It's a lot of love, and
Yes.
the name Snuggles stands for supporting needs of the underprivileged through generous gifts of love in every stitch, and that's what I feel like this program is.
Wow.
That's like a triple word score in Scrabble in and of itself with an acronym.
Don't say it 3 times real fast.
Right. Tell us real quick about the Stitchathon that you have coming up, the next one.
Yep, we have one coming up on March 20th. It's at 3 p.m., and we host it at the Bible Education Center located in the Lincoln Square Mall on the west entrance near the Landmark Hotel.
Yeah,
Okay.
so great. And you can zip right over for a little lunch at Piatto and going in.
We actually theme each month as well, so we offer refreshments, and so it's just a fun time for everyone to get together, get to know one another, and serve a good cause.
That's
Stitching
really
and
great.
snacks.
Yeah, and you can make a difference too. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna tell you how to get in connection with Jennifer online.
It's on our Facebook page actually right now.
Oh, good. Okay, so that's important. And then if they want to call, because not all of our seniors out there are ready to run to the web and do these things, how can they get in touch with you?
The Bible education number
Okay.
is 217-367-2100.
Okay.
They can leave messages there, or I have an email address where people could email me.
Okay, well, we'll put that one online because that's how a lot of people are going to go online can get that via.
Yep.
But 361-2100.
367
367
2100.
2100. Listen to her, not me. But that's great. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you for
sharing
having
this with
me.
us. What a blessing.